See this? This is $1,840. It's a lot of money. That's how much I just got in a trade that literally took me a few seconds selling covered calls over some shares that I already own. And because of this trade, I'm set to make about $6,780, which is close to 50%, or annualized about 208% on this one trade. And I literally found this trade by accident. Let's dive into it. So today's Tuesday the 12th of August. It's currently about 2:30 PM here in Western Australia. Yesterday I put together a video showing how this bunch of BHP shares that I own, about $18,000 worth or so, on paper looks like I'm down about $1,500. Have a look at the video. But by selling options and also collecting the dividends, I'm not down $1,500, I'm actually up about $1,300. And I've done quite a few videos already about how options trading can help us to reduce losses and to fix trades that are going wrong. In other words, if I've bought a stock here and it starts coming down here, but I've sold options and I've collected dividends, well great, I can use options to help offset any losses and turn a potentially losing trade into a winning trade. And that's great. But in this video, I want to talk about winning trades. Because, you know, I do have a lot of winning trades as well. And using options can help amplify any existing potential gains. Let me show you what I mean. So yesterday when I was putting the video together, I jumped into my share trading account and I noticed that I was up about $4,000 just for the day. This is the daily change. This isn't like my whole portfolio's up $4,000. This is just the change for the day. So it was a good day. But one stock in particular was up $2,800 for the day. Like I'm up about $4,000 on these shares since I first bought them. But close to 3,000 of that profit was made just yesterday. So I wanted to dig it a little bit deeper. Now on here it says I've got 6,500 Pilbara mining shares. I've actually got 8,000 because I've got another 1,500 in another area of my trading account. It says I paid an average of about $1.78.6 per share. And the last price yesterday was $2.28, meaning I'm up about $4,000 on this one trade, which represents about 27.69%, which is nice. Now, obviously if I'm up $4,000, that's only on paper. Just like previous videos where I'm like, oh, on paper it looks like I'm down $1,500. Well, yeah, on paper, it's not actually a loss unless I sell the shares and take the loss. Just like this isn't a gain unless I physically sell my shares and take the gain and put the money in my account. Until the cash is actually in my account, they're just numbers on a screen. But I wanted to lock in some of this profit because I'm like, clearly this stock has had a massive change. As you can see, it's up 18% in one day, well, yesterday. So an 18% increase in price. Is that sustainable? I don't know. So what do I do? Do I sell my shares and take the $4,000? Or do I sell some covered calls and take some of the profit that way? And that's what I did. So you can see here, I've literally got 8,000 of these PLS shares, 6,500 of them here, and 1,500 reserved in another area of my trading platform. So I then jumped over to have a look at the share price and the chart. Sure enough, the last traded price, $2.28, up 18% yesterday. And you can see the big gap here. The shares were trading down here. Suddenly, for some unknown reason, boom, the price jumped up. I had no idea that this was going to happen, and I don't know why it happened, and I really don't care. Because I'm not a fundamental investor. I don't sit there looking at reports and analysing stock prices and movements. I don't sit there trying to predict the future. Oh my goodness, Pilbara Minerals, produce lithium batteries and there's a shortage and, you know, they've got this contract and therefore the price is going to spike or whatever. I don't go into that. And I know plenty of people do, and great, whatever works for them. But I don't. I'm lazy. Now, if I look from the technical perspective of this chart, there's no reason for me to have bought this stock in the first place. I mean, this stock's been falling in price since 2023. It's hitting this downward resistance. If I look at the chart, I could literally be thinking, man, there's going to be a lot of really annoyed traders trapped in this trade. Because can you imagine if you're one of the people that purchased Pilbara Minerals back here at $3.50 or close to it. And you thought, hey, I'm going to make heaps of money here, but you never did. And the price plummeted. Then it went back up. You thought, okay, here we go. Cool, I'm going to get my money back. But you didn't. The price plummeted. And then you got a spark of hope thinking, oh, this is good. It's going to come back. Things are good. But it never did. Or if maybe you bought here on this little bounce out thinking, oh, look at this. The price is turning. I'm going to get in here. The price is low. I'm going to buy and happy days. But instead, you're just sitting on big losses. So this stock is in a downward trend and has been for a very long time. Yesterday, it broke above the downward trend, but I don't know if that's going to be sustainable because, again, there's a lot of trapped traders in this trade that have bought at much higher prices than what they can buy today or what they can sell for today. And so people that have paid less than $2.28 may be thinking, great, finally I can get out of this losing stock and get some of my money back. There will be people that think, wow, this is a great opportunity to buy because it's cheap compared to where it's been, whatever. The whole market is made up by people like you and I, all around the world, all around Australia, with their own thoughts and opinions and ideas on how to trade, and that's what makes the market. If we all knew exactly what was going to happen, there wouldn't be a market. If we knew the price was going to skyrocket, then nobody would be selling. If we knew the price was going to crash, nobody would be buying. So everybody's got an opinion. Everybody does their own research, analysis, whatever. A lot of people have their own way of doing it, and I have my way of doing it. Which again, brings me back to the quick disclaimer that I have to have, that this video is in no way, shape or form an endorsement for you to quickly go out and buy a bunch of PLS shares. I'm simply showing you factual data based on a trade that I'm already in and what actually is happening with it or what happened with it. And I can't tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, and I'm not recommending that you buy this stock or any other stock. I'm just telling you exactly what's happening for me. So yesterday I looked at the share price of PLS and it was up substantially, 18.13%. So I'm like, do I sell my shares and take my money, or do I sell some covered call options and get paid the premium? And that's exactly what I did. So I jumped into the option chain, and as you can see here, today or yesterday was Monday the 11th of August. So I want to go out to next month, which is September, and sell some call options over the 8,000 shares that I already own. Now, I saw these options here that have a $2.30 strike price. Yesterday's price was $2.28. So this is about the trading price, out by 2 cents. They were trading at bid and ask of 18.5 and 27.5 cents. And I thought, okay, if I can get somewhere in the middle, maybe get 23, 24 cents, something like that, happy days. So I put in my order, which is sell to open, because I'm selling call options, which are covered because I physically own the 8,000 shares already. So I'm selling covered calls, and I'm going to sell 80 contracts, which is a lot, because each contract is for 100 shares. I have 8,000, so 80 times 100 is 8,000. So I sold 80 contracts, and I put in an offer here of 23 cents. So what I'm saying here is you can buy my 8,000 PLS, Pilbara Minerals shares from me on or before, because this is an American style option, it's not a European, which means I could be exercised any day between now and the 18th of the 9th, which is next month, because we're in August, so the 9th is September. Anytime between now and the 18th of next month, somebody can come and buy 8,000 PLS shares from me for $2.30, but for that, right now, they're going to give me $1,840. Cha-ching! Less brokerage and costs, I'm going to end up with $1,793.61 if the offer goes through. So I preview my order, put in my password, my order gets submitted. Now, have a look at the time here. As you can see, it's 3:27 p.m. yesterday, which of course is 1:27 p.m. here in Western Australia. So this was at about 1:30 p.m. or 1:27 precisely. I checked my email 2 minutes later, 13:29. So this was 13:27. 2 minutes later, 13:29. Cha-ching! ComSec have sent me an email saying we have sold for you 80 contracts, the $2.30 call option expiring the 18th of September for 23 cents each for a total of $1,840, less brokerage and costs, for net proceeds of $1,793.61. Now, if you watched my video yesterday, my BHP trade, as you would know, or any of my previous trades perhaps, I don't generally just go out and buy shares. I don't just, hey, give me 8,000 PLS shares, please. The reason I have 8,000 PLS shares is because I sold, or would have sold, put options, giving someone the right to be able to sell their PLS shares to me. And for that, I would have collected option premium along the way. And this is no different. So let's have a look at how I acquired these shares, how long I've had them for, and what I paid for them. So I went through my transaction history over the last year or so, and I sorted it by PLS. How many of the trades that I've done over the last 12 months, 24 months or so have been relating to PLS. This is just share trading. We'll get to the options in a moment. And you can see there's 3. So there have been 3 times where I've bought PLS. And as you can see, here they are. The 15th of the 5th, so 15th of May this year, I purchased 2,000 PLS for a total of $3,654.95. I also purchased some for $1.91, $5,764.95. And about a month later, on the 19th of June, I purchased 3,000 PLS shares for $1.61 each, for a total of $4,864.95. How did it come about that I bought these in 3 separate lots over those timeframes? Well, let's have a look at the options. Again, I've searched through all of my options transactions relating to PLS over the last 12 to 24 months, and you can see there were 8 options trades that I've done relating to PLS. So here they are here. So on the 22nd of February, I sold 30, so for 3,000 PLS, put options for $1.91, and I collected $365.76. On the 4th of March, I sold 20 put options with a strike price of $1.81, and for that I collected $862.19. Now, you can see that both of those options were then exercised. I was assigned the shares. If you remember, 30 of them for $1.91 and 20 of them for $1.81. There it is there. 15th of the 5th, I bought 2,000, and then I bought 3,000, $1.81, and then 3,000 for $1.91. But when I sold the options, I collected the premium for it, the $365 and the $162. So I was assigned on both of those. Then later, on the 16th of May, I sold a further 30 for 3,000, $1.61 put options, expiring the 19th of June, and I collected $230.76. So what that's saying is I gave someone the right to sell to me PLS shares for $1.61 before the 19th of June. And for that, I collected $230. Then on the 19th of the 6th, I was assigned that. There it is there, 19th of the 6th. I bought another 3,000 PLS shares for $1.61. Okay, so there I've bought 3,000, 2,000, 3,000. There's my 8,000 PLS shares. Now, on the 17th of July, I wrote or sold 15 put options, giving someone the right to sell PLS to me for $1.51, expiring 21st of August. So they haven't expired yet. Is somebody going to sell PLS to me for $1.51 in August? Who knows? But looking at yesterday's price, I highly doubt it. $1.51. If the price falls, fine. But guess what? I also sold yesterday, as you know, the $1,700 worth of covered calls, giving someone the right to buy all 8,000 PLS shares off me for $2.30. Are they going to do that if the price has plummeted down to $1.51? No way. So I just keep this cash and I'm not obligated to sell them. Nobody's going to buy them off me for $2.30 if they can buy them for $1.50. So let's look at the numbers. Let's add up the option income that I've received since February. There was the $365.76, the $162.19, the $230.76, the $112.90, and of course yesterday's $1,793.61. Now if you total all those up, I have received in option premium on the PLS trades that I've done this year, 2025, $2,665.22. Cha-ching. So $2,665 How much has it cost me to acquire the shares? Well, I bought $3,654.95 worth. I bought $5,764.95 worth. And I bought $4,864.95 worth for a total of $14,284.85. That's how much I've spent. So I've got $14,284 worth of PLS shares, 8,000 of them. They've cost me about 14 grand. So my total cost, $14,284.85, less the income that I've already pulled in from selling options, is $2,665.22. That alone, the $2,665, is 18%. So in other words, if I had $14,000 sitting in the bank over a year, they'll probably give me like 4%. Well, I've had $14,000 tied up in this one trade, and it's already earned me over 18.65%. Now, if I'm exercised, meaning if nothing else happens, like I don't get paid dividends, I don't roll my options, I don't get exercised on buying them at $1.50 or whatever. If the share price goes up and I'm exercised, and somebody says, hey, give me 8,000 of your PLS shares for $2.30 each, well, $2.30 times 8,000 is $18,400. So I've received $18,400 plus the $2,665 that I've already pocketed. That's a total of $21,065. $21,065 minus the $14,284 that it's cost me out of my pocket. That's a profit of $6,780. Cha-ching! And that's 47.46% profit. That's a decent return. This trade's only been 3 or 4 months. It's not even a whole year. So we can annualize that to work out how much would that be in an annualized return. The bottom line is this. If I put in the amount invested, the $14,284.85, my expected return, if I'm exercised, and someone says here's $2.30 times 8,000 for the 18,400 plus the 2,665 that I've already received, I'm going to receive $21,065. That's that number there. Now, $21,065 from the start date. Now, I've put the 15th of the 5th as the starting date, but that's not entirely correct, because the 15th of the 5th, I only had 5,000 shares, not all 8,000. So literally, I'm being generous by adding another month here, saying, oh yeah, my money was tied up for that whole time. Well, only 5,000 shares were tied up for that whole time because the last lot of 3,000 shares didn't come until a month later. But we'll be generous and we'll use this as our starting point for all of the shares, all 8,000 of them. So 15th of the 5th is our starting date. The 18th of the 9th is the expiry date. So again, these are American style options. So literally I could get exercised tomorrow or next week or the week after. But again, I'm being generous and saying, no, this is going to carry out to the end of the trade, right up to the bitter end. And I'm going to get exercised on the expiry date of the 18th of the 9th. I probably won't. If the shares go up, I'll either roll the options for more money or I'll get exercised, whatever. But I'm going to use this as my end date as well. So if I'm exercised, I make $6,780.15 is my gain, which is a return on investment of 47.46%, which I've already said. Annualized, that's 208% return. Cha-ching. That's a good rate of return. You're not going to get that in any bank. At best, you go to a bank like Commonwealth, they're going to pay you probably 4.65 as a variable introductory rate. You know, if you're a new customer, that might be the honeymoon rate. 3.8% for a 12-month term deposit. But 3.8%. Ooh, this is why I trade. Because if I'm going to leave, in this case, $14,000 sitting in the bank and get 3.8%, it's $530 for a whole year. I've got to leave my money in the bank for a year to make $500. Whereas if I do a trade like this, my money's not tied up all year. It's literally 0.345 of a year. You know, it's a quarter of a year, 3 or 4 months. If I can pull my money out, reinvest it somewhere else and make great returns on it again, of course I'm going to do much better than leaving my money sitting in the bank account earning 3 or 4%. Let me know if you got something out of this video. And also, let me know what you'd like to see in future videos. Because obviously I've got no idea what you're doing, what sort of trading you're doing, if any. Are you a brand new trader? Have you been trading for years? Are you a seasoned pro? looking at me thinking, what the hell was that guy doing? Or are you literally like, what's he talking about? Options. What are options? Or like, what do you mean you sold a covered call? What is a covered call? Leave a comment. Let me know where you're at. And if you're finding these videos useful, which, you know, and I appreciate all the comments that I've got so far, that a lot of you guys are finding them useful and practical. But let me know if you're struggling with some of the concepts, or if you're like, dude, we get all that. Can you move on to the advanced stuff? Or if you need clarification on some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Because I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, and also just to help me, because this is a brand new channel, or fairly new, like I'm literally like 23 or 4 videos into it. And it'd be great to get your feedback on what future videos you'd like me to do. Basic, beginner level stuff, more intermediate to get your teeth into, or more advanced. And as I've said in previous videos, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not licensed to give financial advice. I never want to give financial advice. I'm never going to give financial advice. I'm never going to tell you which stocks to buy, which stocks to avoid, whether you should trade options versus stocks, whether you should put your money in crypto or gold or silver, Australian shares, overseas markets, foreign currency. I'm not going to tell you that stuff. It's not my job to. All I'm doing is showing you what I'm doing and what's working for me. But if you'd like me to help you to understand some concepts, you know, give some basic tutorials, how options work, how to trade options, how to find stocks to trade, those sorts of things, let me know, and I'll be happy to put those sorts of videos together as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.